God is still writing your story. Philippians chapter 1 verse 6, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Have you ever looked at your life and wondered, is this really how the story ends? Maybe you are facing a broken relationship, a job loss, a long illness, or just the weight of disappointment. This hour, I want to remind you the simple truth. God is still writing your story. Philippians chapter 1, verse 6. Paul wrote this letter from prison to a young church in Philippi. The Greek word translated completion is epitelesi, meaning to bring to full end or perfect finish. Paul is assuring them that the God who began their salvation and growth will perfectly finish it. There will be no interruption, there will not be half done, but a perfect project. Your circumstances, just like Paul's chains, cannot cancel God's plan. Apostle Paul calls God the one who began the good work. And that simply means life didn't start by accident. It won't end as a rough draft. Think of a master painter who doesn't walk away from the canvas halfway through. Think of a novelist. The plot may twist and turn, but the writer already knows the ending. I once visited an art studio where the painter's canvas looked like chaos, splashes of color, there was no clear shape. I couldn't even imagine how it would become a landscape. Hours later, the details emerged. What looked like random strokes were part of a masterpiece. That's how God works. What feels unfinished to you is only Act 2 in God's scripts. God is not done with you. I want you to believe this. The Bible is full of stories that looked like dead ends. Joseph, Genesis 50, verse 20. He said, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." In Hebrew, the verb kasha meant is a wavering term, like a weaver planning a pattern. What others wove for harm, God rewove for blessing. David was chosen as a king in 1 Samuel 16. He spent years hiding from Saul. His Psalms of Lament, Psalm 13, show honest questioning, yet there was a steadfast trust. What about Paul? Many of his letters, Philippians, Ephesians, Colossians, Philemon, were written while imprisoned. But God turned a locked cell into a global pulpit. Setbacks felt final, but they were only chapters. I want to encourage you. What if the delay you are living through is not a punishment, but a preparation? What if today's pain is shaping tomorrow's purpose? Take a deep breath. Say out loud where you are, this is not the last chapter. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 2 urges us to fix our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. The Greek word for pioneer is archigos, one who goes first, a trailblazer, while perfecter is teleolis, the one who brings to the intended goal. So Jesus doesn't just start our faith, he leads the way and sees it through to the finish line. Here are 3 ways to let him write your script. Release the past. Stop editing old chapters. You can't rewrite what already printed. Let the past be past. Stay close to the author through prayer, through worship, and the word. Keep your heart in sync with his narrative, not the word narratives, but God's narratives. And lastly, obey the next step. Sometimes God only shows the next sentence, not the whole page. So take the small steps that he reveals unto you. If you're ready to trust the author, I want you to type in the comment section, my story is not finished yet. Don't quit in the middle of your story. The same God who began the work will finish it. His final chapter is always good, even if the current page that you are right now is filled with tears and sweat. Remember Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called